Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Ken Coscia here. Let me just make a quick adjustment. If I can enlarge this screen, yes. Oh, welcome. I'm going to wait to begin, give people a chance to sign in. I just set this up spontaneously this afternoon. I've been thinking about you and thinking about the state of affairs that the world is going through. I feel very blessed and fortunate that I'm not directly experiencing that, perhaps you, but too many people, our fellow human beings, are just, it's really tough. Just, I don't have the words for how horrible some of it is. So, title today is A Spiritual Healing Meditation, a dynamic meditation, which simply means we can be both active in our thinking and passive and sustain that state of being that fills us full of well being, boosts the immune system, and helps us to move out of survival and fear based type thinking into a state of being that allows our best self to emerge with that. It's also a state of being where we can create some heart coherence and share it with others in the hopes that possibly doing some remote healing or distant healing, whatever you want to call it, or absent healing or prayer healing, depending on your background, your spiritual persuasion. Uh, those of you who've been following my work, I've been doing this for 51 years this Memorial Day weekend, and I have become, my opinion, a very strong believer in distant, remote healing or prayer healing, and that you are far more than you give yourself credit for, and that you and I are graced with an incredible human capability, human potential that we're still in our infancy and understanding. And we can call it brain potential, we can call it mind potential. But basically, and you know this, we are what? We are a body, a mind, and a spirit. And that's so important to consider. And let me make an adjustment in my settings for the microphone with this. And bear with me one second. I'm way up there. I'm just checking the scanner there. It looks like it's kind of low. Sorry about that, but I don't want to lose anything. So again, while we're waiting for people to check in here, let me just set something up for you. Um, if you're just showing up here now, that's great. I look forward. If you're watching the replay, that's great. And let me just set this up for you. I thought I had it up there. Mhm. Okay, here we go. So let me input volume, put that baby way up there. Okay. So we're back and that's much better, I hope, for that. So I'm not going to wait, forever. In this situation, I cannot tell if anybody's here, if I'm alone. However, one of the beauties of YouTube is that this will be there forever and people can at their own leisure enjoy and benefit from it. And so let me say, those of you who've been following me and following my work, sharing my work on YouTube or Facebook, Instagram, even LinkedIn, I use somewhat. Thank you kindly. I appreciate it because we are in this together. It's not about popularity. I don't really care about that. I already have a very active and busy, thriving Silva practice with that. But what it is about is creating a sense of unity in our community. So I think today, you and I have so much to complain about and to be concerned about. And yet we know that complaining doesn't do a blessed thing, does it? Complaining doesn't help. In fact, when we complain, we create more stress in the body. The brain releases more stress enzymes, stress hormones. And if we're not careful, it can become toxic. It can lead to restless nights sleeping, trouble sleeping. It can lead to acid indigestion, poor digestion. Uh, it can even lead, on the extreme, to Ulcers. We know that distress is the leading cause of disease. But would you agree, in addition to that, I know you know this, but what I want you to do is acknowledge. I want to acknowledge you for watching this video and being here. Stay to the end. I promise I'm going to teach you a framework. We're going to do it. But I want to set this up properly for you. So, would you agree with me that when you and I are stressed, preoccupied, worried, and in complaint mode, we're more likely to make mistakes? And if you make mistakes in your business, it costs you time and money. Agreed? Can you relate? If you make mistakes in your relationships, in your communications with your friends, your significant other, your children, we say things that can be shameful on them, that can hurt them and leave them with scars, emotional scars throughout their life that may need therapy to get rid of. If we're preoccupied and stressed, yeah, we weaken our immune system, but we also are more likely to have accidents. So I hope you use this framework daily. I'm going to share with you in a generic sense because many of you are not Silva trained participants. You may have read the books, you may have had the home study. It's not the same as actually attending the 4 days of Silva Life and Intuition System. Way back when I started, we called it the Basic Lecture Series. And in that training, the first 2 days, 30%, 35% of our time is spent practicing these dynamic meditations. Day 3 and 4, more than 65% of our time. And that's the difference that will make the difference. So I want to go on the record and say to you that it's not the information that makes a difference. It's what you do with it and how you integrate it and living it. There are a lot of well-intending, beautiful people out there who have an incredible treasury of knowledge. But what good is it unless we can apply it and implement it? So life mastery begins with information, an immersion of knowledge, an immersion of skills, an immersion of training. Then repetition is what makes it permanent. And it's not a quick fix. And the repetition can be consistently on a daily basis, at least for 30 days, sometimes as much as 90 days. And then implementation of that practice, applying it in your life, what's important to you. And then, of course, leads to mastery, life mastery. And that's true whether it be you as a musician, you as a singer, you as a salesperson, you as a lover, you as in a relationship, you as a business person, you as just a fellow human being. So we are in this together. Let's help each other. So here's the framework. And allow me to explain. I could just jump into it. And I know some people are impatient. God bless you. If you're that impatient, this may not be for you. I'm sorry. But the point is this: Mr. Jose Silva, 1944, he spent 22 years developing a dynamic meditation process. It's the most copied, most imitated on the planet. And frankly, many kind of do not really quite get it. This is my lifeblood. This is what I've done. And Silva instructors across the globe have been committed a great deal of time and expertise and training to master this in the classes. So here's the point. You've heard others say this. The purpose of meditation, any kind of meditation, passive or otherwise, is to detach from logic, reasoning, rational thought, critical thinking, which is very important. So-called left brain thinking. I mean, that's just a metaphor nowadays, but so-called. If you enter into a quiet meditative state, no matter who's guiding you, and you start to question, what is he saying? Why is he saying that? Why is she doing that? You're out of it. If you sit there in any meditation and wonder, am I doing it right? Am I deep enough? That's it. You're done. You're cooked. It's that simple because you're now entertaining logic, critical thinking. If you sit there and you're in self-doubt and worrying, you're out of it. So it takes training. Be patient. It's not a quick fix. And with time and practice, you learn. If you're sitting there in meditation and your mind is wandering and daydreaming, that's great. That's what you want. I'm just going to tilt my screen a little bit for you. You want to be in an alpha state, an alpha and theta state. You want to change your brain waves, and you can't read it because it's reversed in this live stream mode. It's a sleep-like state. It's you're tapping the so-called subconscious, and these inner conscious states have nothing to do with logic reasoning. And I'm not making this up. That's the science piece of it. So it's really, I agree, and I acknowledge you for your persistent efforts. It's a challenge to sustain this state of being where we're detached from logic and just blissing out and enjoying. And what Mr. Silva found is when you're in that state, you can then integrate creative visualization. You can integrate mental rehearsal skills, affirmations, and sustain it. And it's an art. It really is an art, and I'm graced. I'm the guy, Jose Silva, selected out of 1,000 global instructors, and I'm honoring him here today. And I thank him. He's long gone, but I thank him because he saw something in me. I was still a young, not so experienced instructor, and I became one of only 4 people in the globe, yeah, in the globe, to certify, to train new instructors, and to present advanced training. And most of my career has been spent traveling the world doing so in-person events way before we had, the virtuals. Frankly, I'm kind of new at virtual, although I've pivoted in 2020 when the pandemic broke out, and all the virtuals I do are sold out. I keep them to a low number so that people have my undivided attention. However, here's the point. I want to honor and respect him. In order to accomplish that, it's easy if everything is explained. Yes, it slows us down. Absolutely. Yes, for those of you who have a practice, who have experience, it's not so exciting. I agree. I'm with you. But the results outweigh that small investment of time to patiently listen. Because when you are consciously, I'll show you again, in beta, in your conscious awareness, understanding what's being done. If we were in a training together, in fact, the chat is open. If anyone is there and doesn't looks like I'm still alone, but if you are and you have a question, I'll answer it. And that's so important. When you're alone by yourself, who do you ask the questions? And if those questions aren't answered, come on, you go into doubt, right? And you begin to worry. Am I deep enough? Am I doing this right? And you're going to lose it. That is the fault. I think all these online programs that people like Mind Valley put together, it's at best a good introduction. It's very well done. They're cool people. I know Vision Lakiani personally. However, who do you ask questions? The risk is if you go into any level of uncertainty, you're not going to sustain it. You might give up. You might skip around. And that's why I'm a great believer in even online, but having an instructor there live with you, guiding you, facilitating, watching, making sure you're okay, no questions, etc. So everything's explained ahead of time. So it's also a very intimate experience. It's an awesome, humbling position to be in, fellow Silva instructors or people who guide meditation. I hope they don't take it lightly because your people are allowing you to guide them into their inner conscious states. And when we're in this alpha and theta state, we learn so much faster. We are more suggestible. We are more open to learning. So when you're with me, I respect you and will always explain things before we do it. So here's a general. If you're a Silva practitioner already, thank you. Spread the news, share this video with others. Use your 3-to-1 method. I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm not, it's something that we spend 4 days practicing and developing and creating associations. There's no magic to 3-to-1. The magic is in the results and applying the skill that we develop. So let's just do this. Here's the framework. It's a simple, very powerful framework that I want you to use at any level. And you can add anything you want. Be flexible. Easiest way to do it is with your eyelids closed. Just had a question in our Silva Life and Intuition System Facebook group. Can I do this with the 3 scenes with my eyes open? That he learned that on the online program and nobody to ask. So he's asking me, and the answer is much, 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 much better with eyelids closed. Why? Eyesight uses 80 to 86% of the information that comes into the brain. 80 to 86% is through sight. Automatically, without any practice, when you close your eyelids, brain waves will tend to slow down from the blue to the green and red. And if you keep closed long enough, you'll take a delta flight. That's simple. And these are some of the observations Mr. Silva found when he studied hypnosis, meditation, positive thinking, psychology, wisdom schools, the Bible, spiritual teachings, etc. It truly is a work of art that I feel so privileged to teach. So eyelids closed. You can move. You can open them at any time if you want. It's okay to move. You don't lose it. If there's noise around you, like I wanted to do this outside. It's a beautiful beginning spring day, but very, very breezy. The wind is just making too much noise. So I decided not to because I wanted this to be as clear as possible for you. So it's okay to daydream. What you want to do is learn how to focus your daydreaming. So you can do that by listening more closely to my voice. It's okay. It's called indirect listening, where my voice is there in the background. You hear it, you know that I'm there, but you're not really so focused like now. I hope you're focused and listening closely and intently with me. Then we're going to have the second step. So, first step, step number one, eyelids closed, comfortable position, organize it to win. Go into a place where you can have as much privacy as possible. If you have children, let them know mommy or daddy, whoever, uncle, auntie, grandma, I want to do my meditation. My kids all knew this. That's how they grew up in our household. They're all Silva grads. And now my grandchildren know that. When I take here's a funny one I got to tell you. My 6-year-old grandson was on the phone. His father was calling. He's in the back seat in his what do you call it, car seat. And his father, called to check in with me. He's up front. And Bishop is his name, said, "Hey, Grandpa, how you doing?" We were talking a little bit. I was coming to see his game Saturday. And I said, "Listen, I'm gonna come. And I'm not staying over. Grandma and I are gonna come. Then I'm gonna watch your games. You and your sister watch the games. There's several games that we're doing. Then we'll come home. We'll have lunch together. We'll go out and have lunch together. And then I'm gonna take an alpha break and then go home." He said, "Oh, Grandpa, please, after you take your alcohol break, can you play with me a bit? Can we wrestle?" And I laughed and I said, "Yes." And then his father corrected him. He said, "Alpha, not alcohol break." I thought it was so cute. Children, the innocence for them. I want you to do the same thing during the day. Take alpha breaks. I want you to be fully alert while driving. So we wrestled and I took an alpha break. So I would be. Second step is 3 slow, deep belly breaths. I know you know how to breathe. Everybody tells us breathe, breathe. Very simple. Inhale slowly through your nose, but take your time. Fill your belly, fill your body. You like this t-shirt? It's pretty cool. Awaken, connect, transform. I love that expression. I got this t-shirt from my wife. Hold it briefly, this slow deep breath, and then exhale out your mouth. Put your tongue on the roof of your mouth. I learned this from Dr. Andrew Weil. And just keep exhaling. Exaggerate the exhale. It is a proven. Brain science has repeatedly shown this proven way to cause the brain to release more dopamine, feeling good enzyme, and serotonin, which is the precursor to melatonin, which helps us get to sleep. And it helps diffuse some of the distress. It helps to normalize the body to bring us into homeostasis or balance. And do that 3 times. If you know the 3-to-1 method, absolutely do that because that's a very powerful technique. Then I'll do it with you. I'm going to play some music in the background, music that I use in my graduate advanced program called Silva Mastery. I'm not going to use the alpha sound. That needs to be explained. One of our instructors, who I know and love, and she's well intended, she really is so heartfelt. She keeps uploading just the alpha theta sounds out there. But I can't tell you how many times I hear from people questioning me, "What's that crazy sound? It sounds ridiculous. It reminds me of the washing machine. It reminds me of a train track." And people, many, if they don't know what it is and why, and has it been positioned properly, they're annoyed by it and it doesn't help. I had somebody who's already take class with me. When he heard I use the sound, he said, "Oh," he wouldn't even listen. He said, "Oh, I can't take it. I feel like I'm." So you got to organize it, my friends. And I mean no disrespect. It's a work of art. And when you follow and you trust your instructor to guide you, you will be thrilled at the results. So I'm going to use some music that was created for me in Switzerland by some musicians way back. Um, it's just really easygoing, nice. It's nice to have music. You can use that in our Silva classes. We use the sound. Then step number 3, excuse me. So step 1, eyelids closed. Step 2, 3 slow, deep, very slow belly breaths. Step number 3, feel some gratitude. Feel some appreciation. People at HeartMath Institute in Northern California and many, many brain scientists, by doing brain scans, have shown that you can create, people like Dr. Joe Dispenza, excuse me, beautiful meditation techniques he teaches. It creates heart coherence, a coherent state between the brain and the heart. It puts us into a state where we move out of fear, worry, and survival type thinking, which you can't manifest when you're in that state. It's protective. And you don't learn when you're in that state. If you're in that state and you're trying to learn, you won't learn. That's what happened to me in school and college. I was flunking out because I was so worried. And the harder I tried, the worse it got. If you know my story, by learning the Silva techniques in 71, after 2 years of flunking out on academic probation, I graduated cum laude. And I was a full-time Silva instructor in my junior year, my third year BU, by the second semester. But the first, I was the director of the largest graduate organization on the planet. I was blessed to work with the best of the best who put Silva on the map. And I look back, I taught Silva at night and on the weekends, and then during the day I was a full-time student. But they did all the business. They did everything. I just had to show up and be prepared. I got rid of my headaches, stopped getting headaches for that. I've used this all throughout my life, in my career, to overcome stage fright, being in front of people, to overcome the fear of making videos, I admit. I've used it to improve my performance skills. I've used it to improve my relationship with my wife. We've been together since September 12th, 1972. We have three, I was going to say, excuse me, grown ass children and grandchildren. And it's just incredible. I don't know how parents do it because, boy, for those of you who have two or more children, even one child, oh my, it's a lot on you. And for people who say, I'm just home, a stay at home dad or a stay at home mom, whew, it's a full time plus job. So my wife Barbara and I are so grateful we have the skills. So feel some gratitude. Fourth step, some appreciation for anyone or anything in your life. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be it's sunny, sun is shining today and not raining. Yay! It could be you're happy, a friendly smile. Somebody held the door for you and was kind. It may be you got an unexpected windfall in your business. Hey, ooh, nice, right? It may be that a dear friend checked in on you and said, "I love you." Just feel good about where you live, anything. And you want to do that for about 30 seconds. You don't need to do it for hours. 30 seconds does the trick. The next step, so first step, I got to count again. Excuse me, I don't have it written down. Eyelids closed, step 1. Step 2, 3 slow, deep belly breaths. Next step, feel some appreciation, some gratitude. And the fourth step, very important in this framework, is think of anyone you care about and imagine as if you're sending them love. So be creative. Dr. O. Carl Simonton, the cancer specialist oncologist in the early 70s who took the Silva program with us, he taught to us in Boston at a convention in 74. He was teaching people guided imagery, and he found it was more effective because the brain we now know is responsive to symbols, to metaphors. It was more effective for people to have like this silly game, this silly visualization that was symbolic of a change taking place in their body. So use the same kind of tool. So here's one simple one for people suffering from cancer. Imagine you've got soldiers dressed in white, soldiers dressed in red in your body. They're in battle, and the soldiers dressed in white are overpowering those dressed in red. The white symbolic of white blood cells, which you need more of when you're suffering from cancer, etc. I mean, read his work. O. Carl Simonton, Getting Well Again. He's pioneered this truly a pioneer in this field. So send some thoughts. What that does is it gets us out of our own head. It gets us into a we state instead of a me state. And when you're in a we state, you're more likely to attract the people, the places that help you to manifest more of what you want, that allows your best self to come in. Then, since we're talking this world healing, I'll so here's what you do. You can imagine as if you've got, I'm just remember these are just creative imagination. You could imagine as if you've got this beam of light radiating from the center of your head, enveloping completely the person you're concerned about. If you know what's wrong, enveloping the parts of the body or the situation. You could do the same thing for your business. But let's just do somebody. You could imagine as if your hands are healing light and you're projecting it. You could say a prayer for them. You could imagine some guided imagery, visualization. If you are a Silva trained person, use your laboratory and counselor skills and techniques, the chemicals and tools and equipment, which are symbolic representation of something taking place. Hey, I'm not alone. Master Mom's Academy. Glad to hear you today. Thank you for being here. I was all by myself. Now it's me and you. Welcome. And let me just take a little sip of water. And then I'm not scripted. I'm never, in this instance, I don't need to be. And then we'll just imagine the world. And I'll invite you, if there's any part of the world, not just the Ukraine, that you're concerned about, because there's conflict all over. Let's imagine a peaceful resolution. Let's imagine the people, the citizens, safe and finding safe refuge somewhere. And then the last step is the bring out. Now, you could just open your eyes. However, you want to be fully awake, especially if you're going to go to work, especially if you're going to drive a car, especially if you're going to be engaged with people. So, in the silver part of the process is we count. So, I'll make a suggestion. I'm going to count to five. And at the count to five, you'll open your eyes. It builds positive expectancy. And you're going to feel great. You're going to feel better than before. So simple like that. Um, so, that is the process. That is the framework. And that is exactly what I'm going to do, except for when it gets to programming for people, I'll just, along the lines of what I've suggested to you. So, and here's the music. Let me put it on for you. And Master Moms, if you're still there, can you just give me a thumbs up? Can you hear? I want the music to be softly in the background, or anybody who's there, softly in the background, so that my voice is louder. And I know when I do my Zoom classes, I have to be really careful because of all the sound. It's okay. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. I thank you for being here. You can be my beautiful assistant. You rock. Okay, so let's do this. So again, obviously, if you are in your car, you don't do this with your eyelids closed. I know you know that, but it's funny. If you're here in the chat, this is not a time to chat. This is, thank you, I'm never alone. She's right. You are right, or he's right. Master, absolutely, we are never alone. And one of the things that I'm a great believer is we do an exercise called connection to purpose and source energy exercise, is that let's be conscious of that. And when we're conscious and we stay in this state of bliss, we're more likely to be guided to make the right moves. So let's do this. All right, so please allow your eyelids to close. Thank you. I appreciate you allowing me to guide you through this. Your best bet is comfortable position, loosen anything you'd like to loosen, and allow your eyelids to close. I will open and close my eyes only because I want to watch the chat in case there's a comment that needs my attention. There's not time to chat, but just in case. All right, so please allow your eyelids to close. And now with your eyelids closed, we'll begin this dynamic meditation for spiritual healing, for world peace, by taking 3 very slow, deep belly breaths. Now begin. Allow a very slow breath. As long as you're comfortable, inhale through your nose slowly, filling your body, filling your belly. Take your time. Hold it briefly, just a brief moment. Then exhale out your mouth. That's it. Open your mouth. Tongue on the roof of your mouth and just exaggerate the exhalation. Release any of the stressors. Let them go. Be free of that which is holding you back. Excellent. How good it feels to progressively relax deeper and deeper. You may now allow another very slow, deep belly breath. Take your time. Breathe in peace. Keep inhaling. Hold it briefly. Exhaling out your mouth again. Open your mouth. Tongue on the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Exaggerate the exhalation. Free yourself of anything and everything that is holding you back from being your best. Now allow one more very slow, deep breath. Take your time. Filling your belly. Breathe in peace and joy and love. Hold it briefly. And now exhale out your mouth. Releasing that which has been holding you back. How good it feels to progressively relax deeper and deeper. It's a wonderful, healthy state of mind and body. You may now feel some gratitude. You can think of anyone or anything you are happy for in your life and feel it as strong as you can, as if you were there with this person. If it's a person, hugging them, smiling, jumping up and down. And I'll remain quiet for a few moments while you do this, for about 30 seconds. Let me do this now. Feel some appreciation, some gratitude. Relax. Allow a very slow, deep breath. Stay relaxed, centered, and balanced. You've got this. Now, you may take a moment to bring into your conscious awareness someone you care about who could use a gift of healing at a subjective spiritual level. Now imagine this person as if they are out and in front of you. If you're a Silva method trained practitioner, you can, of course, use your mental screen. And now imagine a beam of white light, or however you can symbolically represent a change taking place. So many people like to imagine a beam of white light with a bluish tint enveloping this person completely, from the tip of their head to the tip of their toes. If you want to use your hands, that's helpful. I'm very kinesthetic. I always use my hands. Any areas of concern that you know for fact is troubling this person or needs this gift of healing, focus on that or those areas while I remain quiet for a few moments to allow you some time, about 30 seconds to do this. Take your time, do this now. Center yourself. Like to do this for another person. You can do as many as you like when you're practicing with this. Let's, however, now focus our collective thoughts together. Please do this regularly, consistently for world peace. I'm thinking of my Silva colleagues, friends, graduates, people I know in Ukraine, some of the very cities that have been destroyed, and imagining them taking safe refuge, being okay, their family, a peaceful resolution somehow, some way. And of course, there are other countries that are troubled with this conflict going on that are not getting much media attention lately. So I will pause for a short while to allow you time and just imagine. Be symbolic. You can be creative in your mental rehearsal of somehow, some way, a peaceful resolution. If you know people in these troubled spots and you're concerned for them, imagine them reaching safety. Imagine them taking safe refuge. Imagine them okay as best you can. Take your time. I will wait for you and do this also along with you. Of course, you can do this for as long as you like. For now, let's finish up our thoughts. Any last thoughts you have? And know that every time you function within these levels of mind with the sincere desire to help humanity, as you did this time, your talents will increase and you will get better and better and better. And this is so. In a moment, I'll count slowly from 1 to 5, and at that moment, you may open your eyelids, be wide awake and alert, feeling fine and in excellent health, feeling much, much better than before, feeling revitalized and rejuvenated, feeling much better than before. 1, 2, coming out slowly now. 3, at the count of 5, may open your eyelids, be wide awake and alert, feeling fine and in excellent health, feeling much, much better than before. 4, 5, eyelids open, wide awake and alert, feeling fine and in excellent health, feeling much better than before. Woohoo! Welcome back, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. Take your time. If you're new to meditation, which probably you're not, but if you are, take your time. It's a skill set. And as you practice, the key is show up, do it consistently each and every day. You can do this. I didn't time it exactly. This is just about 10 minutes. Just about 10 minutes, give or take 30 seconds or so. That's all it takes. 13 minutes, according to the research, would be ideal. 13 to 15 minutes. However, if you do these during the day, even for a couple of minutes, you'll find they'll help you to stay centered. It'll help you to stay focused, help you to stay, balanced and have more energy and get more done and be more, be more productive. So we got a lot of work to do. And in closing, I want to share with you there's a book that I meant to bring it with me. It's in my office called Power versus Force. Power versus Force. And it's an excellent book. The whole dissertation by a learned psychologist is that real power is within, has nothing to do with military strength and everything to do with emotional and spiritual resolve and the courage to stand tall our convictions. And people have often asked me why I do this. 51 years later, don't you ever get bored? I keep teaching the Silva method. And I got to tell you, what brings me here is you. We are in this together. And I believe, to keep it simple, I'm very conservative as a presenter, that as you and I are just a little bit more respectful of each other, of our family, our friends, the people, community, people we interact with, if we're just a little bit kinder also, a little bit more generous, a little bit more caring, a little bit more gracious, come on, wouldn't you agree? We'll be easier to live with, easier to be with. And as more and more people in your respective community does that, that's what makes a great community. Our Silva Method community is full of wonderful, exciting people from every work of life, from Olympic athletes to doctors to musicians to artists to hippies to young and old. My last class, we had the youngest I had was 24, I believe, and late 70s. It's not uncommon to have people in their 80s and to have people in their early teens or younger, as long as they really want to be there for that. And that's what makes the difference. And I can tell you that when I started in 71, so much of this work was poo-pooed, it was called woo-woo. And now I wish Jose were alive. It's been so well documented. Meditation had become more mainstream. People are more open to this than ever before. Unfortunately, there are still some you-know-whats who are out there wreaking havoc and doing horrible acts of atrocity, like what's going on in the Ukraine and in other parts of the world. Their days are numbered and the time, will come. And I don't mean that as a threat. It's just that as more and more people like you and I, it reaches critical mass, and that's how we affect change. But we're getting at a point where we do need to stand tall and speak up and take a stand about our convictions. So thank you for being part of the community. Thank you for the efforts you make to help make this a better world. And I look forward, for more. And I'll just say this, if you're new to me, if somebody shared this and you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel and you like what I have to say, subscribe. You'll be alerted whenever I release a new video. Uh, if you find this of value and you know people who could benefit, and they weren't here, obviously it was just a few of us, me and Master Moms, woohoo, Master Moms Academy, look it up. They probably do some really good work. Oh, it's Marisol. I didn't know your handle. That was great. But anyway, um, share the good news. Share the link to this on YouTube or wherever you find. Again, if you find that'll be helpful to people. So, my friends, get ready. We're going back live. It's been 2 years. I'm going to be in person starting in July here in Farmington, Connecticut. I'm doing the immersion of life and intuition system. Although virtual has the impact, I'm thrilled. And I don't say this to brag, but I've mastered the virtuals and people love it. The impact is there, but it's even far more impactful when we are in person in the same room. Look it up, mirror neurons, because of the mirror neurons and the way there's entrainment that happens more so in person. So I'm looking forward to get back. I'll still do virtuals, but we'll be there. And in person, you're in Florida. I just certified some new instructors in Florida, by the way. With if you can make it up here, it's beautiful here in July in Connecticut if you've never been here. Um, October, I'm doing another virtual. I just finished one. So we do them every couple of months. You can subscribe to my newsletter, send you out videos and updates what's going on. And if you're a Silva graduate already, Mastery, my 51st anniversary, I'm commemorating the occasion with Silva Mastery live well, not in person, excuse me, but live virtually via Zoom. And I'll be doing it again. It's my baby. It's a wonderful, it's the program in essence that Jose asked me to bring around the the world. Thank you, Marisol. It's it really is. I feel so blessed and fortunate in doing that. All right, guys. Until the next time, I am going to end the stream and say, remember, you are far better than you give yourself credit. You've got this as long as you use the skills that you have. That's what it takes. Use the skills, use what you know. And if you don't know, then get more training, ask for help, hire a coach, take a Silva class, read a good book that will teach you things. Again, we got to help each other. So until the next time.